5/23/14. Realization comes in a wave. It is more of a feeling than an understanding. The words still float, skimming the surface of churning waters. They aren't heavy enough to sink into the ocean of my mind. X-ray, ultrasound, IV CT scan, syllables tie themselves into knots in my head, like the weaving unsteadiness in my stomach. And suddenly, I'm being called out of school? Why? There are no concrete answers, but I know one thing for sure. Something is wrong. 5/28/14. I never hear explicit words, but suddenly I'm swept into something much bigger than I am. A tidal wave ripples through me, its stark surges rolling down the spaces of my ribcage, swallowing my breath as they crash against my lungs. Right below my collarbone, a port is surgically inserted to direct the medicine into my veins. The drugs flood all corners of my mind as I lay between sterilized sheets, helpless. 6/21/14. For a moment, I feel submersion. All my limbs immersed, my insides freezing. The air seems so far away. A call delivers the news that my aunt has collapsed from cancer. The terror is jarring and the sorrow is cold, and I don't know how to deal with loss like this, loss that is like an arrow meant for your heart. She was my role model, my inspiration, my light to follow through all worry and doubt. And now, how am I supposed to be strong when the very disease pulling me apart is the disease that ended her life? 7/24/14. After weeks of storms sweep like clouded mops of anxiety, I find a moment of clarity, of relief, when a scan shows that the treatment is working. Just for a second, I can breathe. But like most good news, it doesn't last long. The third chemo takes the hardest toll on my body, the poison going in pushing out everything in its wake. I become society's spitting image of a sick kid, bald, pale, and 10 pounds too skinny with muscles too weak. My stomach burns because the acid is all that's left, but my heart also burns because I refuse to consent. I will not yield. I will not surrender. These exhausting treatments will not pull me under. It's both a physiological and psychological battle, and if those armies aren't there to fight with all that they have, you have no chance of winning the war against yourself. 9/4/14. Though I wish and I pray, the chemo doesn't seem to be enough to cure the disease in my cells. Getting fit for the radiation mask is like being suffocated so I can live. Standing completely exposed and strapped to a table, a cage is pressed to my face and throat. I'm claustrophobic and getting crushed. The waves have drowned my sense of dignity. I feel so scared and helpless. Why should I have to do this? It becomes one of the worst memories. Tears streaking down my cheeks, and all my hope confined. 11/6/14. Exhaustion. My boat's been rocking on wave after wave. I've trembled at the echo of thunder, and I've seen flashes of my grave. And now, in this moment, I've finally reached the shore. I see the rocky landscape and an ending to the war. It's a lighthouse at the pier, a shining beacon through the night. I've got my first clean scan. I've passed the finish line. I think back through all the struggles. Every blood test, every sleepless night. I was so helpless, so fatigued, but now I see the lantern's light. After the party in my head, after the gust of relief, I feel the temperature settle. My mind and body finally at peace.
It's been a few months, but I've still got scars, on the outside and on the inside. But still, no one knows that I am lucky to be alive. 43 children are diagnosed with cancer every day, and we ignore it because it isn't us, and all we do is pray. It's up to you to break the trend of underfunding for children's lives. It's a bigger issue than it seems, but with hope and a little tenacity, stories like mine will start the plea for childhood cancer cures, for love, hope, and dreams.